It's Debra Carmona here, and I'm back with another mask tutorial. We are going to learn how to make a mask that has a pocket for a filter. I am also going to teach you how to make your own filter. Kirby, well, I used to have a Kirby, but it broke down. And so I have these bags, and they're not being used for anything. I'm using this to make some filters to go inside of the mask that we're going to make today. And I have made one more change to my pattern. The standard pattern is this pleated pattern. I have added a wire, you know that from the last video. I was using a pipe cleaner. I've added one more detail. This is a shaped mask and it has a little curve on it. I've added something else to it. On the bottom, I pulled it together and I made like a little tuck on the bottom. That way it cups the chin, so it goes up underneath, so it doesn't have a gap right here. So it fits real good here and here and here. I've got a good fit. It goes around the face. Just as an example, here's a standard mask on, and it's fairly straight right here. With the little pleat here, it cups underneath the chin the way it's supposed to. This one here, this is actually a male mannequin, so I stuck a hat on it. And my little back strap actually works for men too, and I have men that are requesting it. So it's not just a lady thing. A headband that goes around the head, that would be for a lady, but this back strap, I have men that are requesting it. So yeah, it works for a man as well, but see how the mask, it goes around the face is curved. Pleated parts right here, it kind of bends, and that's good, that works. But the pleats is what allows you to have more room, more space right here. Smaller here, wider there, and that's why the pleats work good. But we're going to look at two different types of filter masks, and we're going to discuss the pros and cons of the mask. I looked at other people's videos and I looked at a different style mask, and there was this one called the Olsen mask, and it looks kind of like this, and it is a little bit longer, so it works to have the hair bands. And I suppose if you wanted to, the regular standard version, if you wanted to use the hair bands, you could make this part come out a little bit longer, and then the hair bands could work. So here I said I wouldn't use the hair bands, and I did. This mask has got some interesting features. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of this mask. It is simple looking. I thought it was kind of cool the way it's got this curve at the top, and it's kind of rounded, so it goes around the face. I've seen some people with some homemade mask, and it's almost as though, I'm just going to grab a piece of fabric. It's almost as though they have a flat piece of fabric, and they use the hair bands, which are attached like this, and it's like flat against their face. And when they talk, it goes like this, and it doesn't fit well, and then they wind up pulling it down because it's annoying because it doesn't fit right. Okay, so I thought this one looked cool. It looks cute. It has a good shape. It curves underneath the chin, and I liked the curve here. So I said, okay, I watched several videos, and there's some good tutorials on how to make it. I have to try. I have to see what it can do. Now in this one of the cool things about it is it has a filter pocket. So right here, you've got this space. So you could just slide a filter in it. I thought that was cool. Now, one video I watched, I didn't comment. I don't know if I should. But the lady, she took her filter material and she cut it to fit in here. Now notice, this is made in two parts. This mask is a little bit more time consuming to make. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces, and you have to have a pattern, and you have to cut them out and sew them together. But the huge flaw in this mask design is there's a seam running from top to bottom. Where is your nose? Where is your mouth? The center of your face. Isn't this what we're supposed to be protecting? And I watched a lady cut and sew her filter fabric with a seam right down the middle. That means it had holes from here to here. What's the point of putting a filter in if you're going to sew a seam down the middle? This mask can work only if you put a solid filter. You slide a solid filter in here. Okay. I'm going to put it on so you can see what it looks like. And it seems to fit good. It seems to have a good shape. It comes underneath the chin. That's good. That's good. And I've got the wire, and I'm trying to get it so it fits the right shape of my face. Okay, it looks cool, and it's cute. It's got a good shape. So I did a little test to check something out. One of the purposes of a mask, besides protecting you from stuff that might get on you, or what you might come out of your mouth on somebody else, it needs to be breathable. Okay? So I did a little test, and I want you to see the result. Now let's test this mask. I feel like the air's going up. All right. I was not able to do it. All right, let's zoom in on the candle. Let's see if I can blow out this candle. I could feel it going up. The air's going up. It's not coming out. There's not even interfacing in this. But it is 3 layers of fabric. No, I could feel the air going up here. It's gonna fog out my glasses. There's too much air escaping, and every time I blow, I can feel the air going straight up. So this is not a good fit, which means I'm not breathing very well through. Now, this is 3 layers. There's the outside, the inside, and then the pocket. And I don't even have a filter in here. There's no filter. But it's not a good fit, and there's no way to adjust it, and the air is just escaping upward. So obviously I couldn't blow out the candle. A mask is supposed to be breathable. So I'm going to do a little experiment. I'm going to light a candle. I'm having a hard time. Okay, it was hard, but I did blow it out. Alright, so we have a lit candle. Let me zoom in a little bit. Zoom in on the candle. Let's see if I can blow this out. I should be able to expel air through the mask. Okay, took me 3 times, but I was able to do it. Test 2. I took out the pipe cleaner, and I put a skinnier channel, and I put a 14 gauge wire, and I think I have it shaped closer to my face, going shaped around my nose. So we will try this again and see if it works. Still feel like the air is escaping up top. can blow the match out. Alright, let's see if I can do this. I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to, because I still sense the air is escaping through the top. I'm trying. No. That's weird. I could do it through the other one. So I can't get air to come out here. It's escaping this way. I was kind of surprised at that. I had no idea. I thought this is a pretty good mask. I thought it would work. So I said, well, I need to be fair. Is it the fabric? I didn't have a filter in it because I haven't made the filter yet. So I used the same fabric to make my standard mask with the pleats. The pleats. The way that I make all my other masks. Okay? And this is what I call my fitted mask because it has that extra curve up here, and I have a pipe cleaner, just a pipe cleaner, folded in 4 parts and twisted, but that's just a pipe cleaner. And then I added the little tuck at the bottom, which is a new feature that I'm now adding to my mask. So I wanted to be fair. I did a second test. I wanted to test how does this design work up with the breathing test. Take a look at that. To be fair, I wanted to try this fabric again, but with my design. And we're going to try this. Goes under the chin. Let me get my nose right. It's just a pipe cleaner. So let's test this. You know what? I didn't expect that. Now, let's try the camera. Let's zoom in. Oops, sorry, wrong direction. I honestly did not expect that. I really don't know what's going to happen, but let's try. Oh my goodness, I got it the first time. So, I really, honestly didn't expect this. I had read somewhere that you need to test the mask to see if you can breathe through it. Why can I breathe through this design better? This has interfacing in it. The other one did not. It just had 3 layers of fabric. But the design, it encloses around the face better, and I don't have air escaping. So this design, in my opinion, works better for that reason. But there's more. That surprised me. I honestly did not expect that because that was the first time I'd ever done it. So, if you saw my last video, I talked about the interfacing and how it's very important that you don't poke holes in the center of your mask. You're trying to protect the mouth and the nose. So, the major design flaw with this mask is that seam right down the center. It'll be all right if you put a solid filter in it, but don't cut and sew and have a seam right down the middle because you've just ruined the whole point of a mask. Okay, so putting that aside for that filter design, now I will show you how I do a filter mask with the pleated pattern so that I already know and I've proved that this is the same thing. Same thing. I've already proved that this has a good fit with my breathing test. So I'm going to make a filter pocket with the same basic design. I have my standard mask, which is 9 inches wide and 7.5 to 8. Sometimes I do 8 inches, sometimes I do 7.5. This is going to be my filter pocket mask. And I want it to kind of end up similar to this when it's finished. Okay, you take off the seam allowances, that's going to be about like that. Okay, so see, seam allowance, seam allowance. So I need a piece of fabric 9 inches wide and 13 and a half inches long. You could even do it 14 inches long. What we need is we need to have an opening right here so that our filter can fit inside. This right here is the size of the filter that's going to go in there. I'm just going to put a pin to mark right here and right here. I'm going to put a link in the description so that you can get the pattern for the filter. And I'm making this hole just a little bit bigger because I think I want to make my filter a little bit larger. So I'm going to sew right here and right here, leaving this open. I'm going to back tack that. I just want to pull my thread and I'm going over on this side. Back tack. I just have the seam in the middle and press that open. Just want to show you one more time. You have a slot right here. Okay. Now I like finished edges, so I don't want to just leave that a raw edge because in the wash that's going to come loose. So I'm going to fold it over one more time and press it because I'm going to stitch that down. This side, and I'm going to turn it over and do the same to the other side. I actually don't need to because that's actually the end of the fabric. I could leave it, but I want it to look the same on both sides. So just fold it over a second time and we press it. You don't want to just come here and sew right down because you'd be sewing through all those layers. I only want to sew on this side, not that side. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to turn it this way so that I have the right side outside. And I'm going to reach in here. I'm not using any pins, but I'm going to reach in here and I'm going to be sewing through this hole. And as I go along, I have to keep moving the hole this way, so that I'm basically going to be sewing right inside of here to get that seam. And the reason that I have this right side is so that I can sew on top of, so I can see what I'm doing here. All right, press a foot. You have to take it a little bit at a time. So I just kind of pull this out of the way so I expose that much of it. Then I pull it this way, expose a little bit more. Keep pulling it down. This is having it pre-pressed helps. See, I'm basically sewing right through the hole here. So I can cut the thread. Alright, now I gotta do it again, but on the other side. So I'll start at the top, make sure that edge is still folded over, kind of moved on me. And we begin. I have to pull this out of the way. Pull a little bit more, make sure that we're still folded over like we're supposed to. You just do it a bit at a time on the part that's exposed through the hole. And the last little bit. so now when you look at it, you have two seams on top. It's kind of like a sleeve. You have your opening where the filter will pass through. You just trim some threads. Really, that's the hardest part about the whole thing. So if you get past that, the rest is easy. Okay, so now we decide where we want our slot. We don't want it in the middle because our filter's going to go in here, but I suppose you could do it this way. You could say, all right, the filter's going to go right there. No, but the nose is up here. That won't work. All right, let's bring it up a little higher. It would be better to have it up higher. So our filter will go in here. See, I feel like that filter is just way too small. I think it needs a much bigger filter, because this would cover the mouth and not cover the nose. This is a standard size of filters. They make them too small. I think this was designed to go with this mask. See, it would fit in here quite well. Okay, that would fit in there. So I think I'm going to have to change the pattern for the size filters that I want to put in. Let's go just a little bit higher. Alright. We'll think about the filter later. Alright, it's time to measure out our elastic. I've been doing 6 inches with this really stretchy, wow, that can go all the way to 14. Okay. So I've got my opening where I want it. I want my elastic to be on the outside. Right now my outside is inside, so my elastic goes on the inside. So I'm going to reach inside and I'm going to put my elastic near the top here so I don't lose track of where my folds are, the top fold and the bottom fold. Okay. There are different ways of doing this. I've seen some people use bias tape on the outside edge and they just sew the elastic. And I felt like that was really bulky and that would make the side seams a little too bulky. So, see, when I watch other people's videos, I'm looking at their process of how they do it, and I'm weighing it out if that's the best way to do things. And I try to find an efficient way to do things, save time, make it simpler. So my elastics are inside. Now you see how it wants to bulk up. I just have to remember to keep this straight. Well, and you have to keep the elastic down here, not up here when you're sewing. Alright, so let's start off with, I can feel my elastic, it's right there, so it's out of the way here. I mean, we want to catch it there. Just going to backtrack over the elastic area. I'm going to make sure I could feel my elastic right here. Alright, now that I've gotten about halfway through, I should be able to pull this out straight. But just make sure that my elastic is only going to be right here at the end. I'm going to take my pin out because I'm going to backtrack over the elastic. Okay, so we have that side sealed up. Now this side, we'll do the same thing. Make sure the elastic's not twisted. Okay, I don't like the way this elastic feels like it's too close. I want to kind of stretch it back and hold it with my finger here. Alright, go a little bit further. Now I should be able to straighten it out Just make sure that I know where my elastic is. Take out my pin. And I think I forgot. Alright, I'm just going to cut off a little bit of a corner there, a little bit of a corner there. Really, just not the whole corner, it's just the angle. Alright, turn it right side out. And it looks a whole lot like the other mask that we were making, the standard mask, without the curved top. Now if I wanted to do it with the curved top, I have to figure something out. Now the only thing left is to put the pleats in and to make the filter. Kind of looks like a little purse. Alright, and we go to the iron, we press it, and we'll press in our pleats. Just want to get these strings out of the way. Okay, we're at the ironing board. First I like to iron it flat. Now this is my pocket opening. I'm going to flip it over. I just want to give it one more good press. I'm going to work from this side because I want to see the front. Just the same as we did before. We fold this down. I just kind of have my finger right here. We can see where our slot is. And we want this to be about an inch from here to there for our first pleat. And then take our finger and these two fingers on top to make our second pleat. And it comes to about pretty close to halfway, this edge right here. Alright, and our last pleat. We're using all of our fingers now. These middle fingers back here, these two fingers down here, and we just kind of put one more fold right there. So it looks just like the other standard mask, except this has a pocket in it. Alright, we go to the sewing machine and we finish it the same way we've done all the others. Stitching it down all the way around, and I go over it a second time so that our elastic is secure, and then about a 1/4 inch right here on both sides so that we have a good solid joining connection. This does not have any filter in it or interfacing. If you need to, you can put pins in this. I don't need to. I've sewn nearly 500 masks, and oops, I just pulled my thread out. I'm getting pretty good at holding those pleats down. You get better with practice. Practice makes perfect. No, good practice makes perfect. Some people just repeat the same mistakes. You're supposed to learn from mistakes. To the end, put down my needle, one more stitch, pick up the press-a-foot, pivot, that way you don't lose your corner and you have a clean corner. I try to line my pleats up. Sometimes they shift a little bit, but I do try to line them up so they're very straight. Once I feel like I've got a good hold, then I begin watching the side carefully, because sometimes they flip up on you. Sometimes it's useful to just lift up your foot and press it down if it looks like it's shifting. Okay. to adjust my stitch size just because I don't want to punch in the same holes as it did before. So I changed the stitch length to a little bit smaller. That way I put in more stitches in and punching different holes. And then, oops, pivot. Take about 3 or 4 stitches. And then we'll do another row, a second row. About 1/4 inch away from the edge. Tack, and that's done. Now we'll finish off this side the same way. The reason I've decided to do this second row is it helps to hold the pleats. And I have tested washing the masks. Probably shouldn't talk about that. I've put masks in the wash to see how they hold up, and they hold up just fine. Having 2 rows of stitching on the ends does help to hold the pleats. Now you still might have to iron it after it goes to the wash. So this looks just like the other standard masks. But, and look, the other side, you don't even see the pocket. Okay, where is the pocket? There's the pocket. And see, a mask of this would fit in there. Hold on, let me just see if this, how this would work. Does it need to be bigger? I think it does. Yeah, I don't think that looks big enough. So I think I'm going to add at least another inch to this pattern so that it would fit this mask. So that was really easy. A whole lot easier than this. This took a lot more time to make, and it's got some design flaws. Alright, now we do the filter. I just had a thought. I need to do the nose bridge. Was looking at the back, you have this top section right here, and since you can easily access it, I don't need to use a pipe cleaner. I could just sew a little stitch right here, and we can just reach in and put our pipe cleaner right there. So that's what I'm going to do. So on the back side, that means we can use less material. Find about the center of the mask, and I want to have approximately a 1/2 inch from our last seam. It could be a little less than 1/2 inch. And the back tack. Tack. There, now we have a channel to put our pipe cleaner through. So I've just folded my and wound it. Now, one thing you can also do if you have trouble getting it to be one solid thing is you can just kind of twist it to get it to be all one unit. So it's basically a one pipe cleaner, 4-plied. And there's no sharp edges. And we can just reach in our pocket and slide this right up there inside of that slot, and it works very good. So we have our nose bridge. Okay, now the filter. Well, that was so easy. Alright, now how do we use this? Do I have to tear it apart, or can I just cut it out? Now, it is several layers. This is glued on. Okay, that's glued on. Alright. The filter fabric is, I'm guessing it's that inside. How many layers is this? Well, the only way I'm going to be able to find out is to take it apart. So I think what I'll do is, but yes, you can use that, and this is made out of HEPA. It's a microallergen. It's HEPA filtration system. What does HEPA mean? High efficiency particulate air. it means that it traps 99.97% of particles, 0.3 microns. And 0.3 microns referred to by scientists as MPPS. That means the most penetrating particle size. The fibers in a HEPA cloth are made with all kind of random interlock. It's not just a straight weave, okay? They're just random. I think I'm going to draw a picture for you to explain this. They have all these random fibers that are turned into a myriad of directions to create a fibrous maze to try to block particles that try to pass through. Traverse through this web. They're taken out in 4 different ways: direct impaction, sieving, interception, and diffusion. And that's what the HEPA fabric can do, and that's what we're going to use for our filter. I'm just cutting it off where it's stitched together. Well, it's a type of stitching. It's more like pressed with high pressure. All right. Now we should be able to peel all the layers. You have this layer, which is glued here. Oh, it's actually sewed. It's actually sewed together right there. No, it's just sort of, okay, I can pull it. This is the first time I've done this, so you are learning along with me. Oops, I tore that a little bit. Gotta be careful. Okay, that's the outer layer, sort of a membrane. And then I flip it over, and we have this inside layer. It almost looks like stitching, but it's really just sort of like pressed together. Okay, this feels really smooth. This is the HEPA fabric. All right, obviously can't use that part, but I'm just going to go ahead and fold this. That way I can cut out mini and cut here. So I'm going to flip this. No, actually, let's do it this way so you can see where the hole is. And I think I'm going to cut, this is my pattern, do not use pins, and I'm going to cut it a little bigger than what it is showing. And we'll cut, it's funny, when I cut it, it seemed to like stick together. Alright, so right there I have 4 filters. You would not use them all at once, you would only use one at a time. Now let's see how this will fit in our pocket. Here's the back. So we insert our filter and we want to flatten it out. I'm going to make sure that it's going to work. I'm going to tuck it up underneath this top flap. I have it all flattened out inside. Of course, it's going to make this look like it wants to open up. So there we have a mask with a HEPA filter that we made by ourselves. This HEPA filter reduces common household dust, pollen, mites, and prevents other particles. That was much easier than you probably thought, huh? I will put some links below the video in the video description. I'm going to put a link of some patterns that you can get for cutting out your filters, but I'll put it in the video description below the video. So make sure you click that button and drop down the menu, hit show more, and read the information that is there. If you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, because that helps me. Through this whole month of April, I have literally spent my month right here making masks. I have sewn pushing 500 masks, and I still have 100 or so more orders to go. I have invested a lot of money in supplies. Every mask that I make basically has cost me $2. About 450 masks I have given away. But I need to make money. I need to try to recoup what I have spent in this project. So I am selling my masks on my Etsy shop now. They are posted there, and you can order masks from me. And I know I'm going to get criticized for this, because, oh, you should be given... Look, if I had gotten paid $10 for every mask I have made, I would have had over $4,000, okay? I have given away over $4,000 worth of product. I have invested hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You do the math. So I think it's okay that I sell my mask to try to replenish. I mean, I haven't been working. I haven't had any income. And when you give me a thumbs up, it's like saying, hey, this is good. Somebody else ought to see this. Let me give it a thumbs up. And Google sees all these thumbs up, and Google says, oh, let's push this. Let's share this with other people, because there's value here. People like it. And that has helped me. So that's increased my YouTube earnings. And I need that, because right now I'm not working. And for the last 3 weeks, my husband hasn't worked. And I've given plenty. I've done my part. So if you want to buy a mask, go over to my shop. I will put the link right here so that you can find it. I will put it in the video description below the video. Thanks for watching. Your watching helps me. Don't forget to subscribe to see more tutorials or helpful videos that I may post in the near future. I haven't decided, but I do have one more idea for another type of mask that'll be a little bit more on the decorative side. Well, I hope you found this video useful, so that we can make safe, better masks. And if you want to make this mask, I will put the pattern, the link to the pattern, below the video in the video description. Remember, don't put a seam right here in your filter. You want a solid filter, so there's a layer of protection. We got filters. Keep them in a bag to keep them clean and safe and handy, so that they can be interchanged as needed. And so now you know how to make a filter pocket with the pleated mask that works great. Hopefully we will get past this business, and I just want to say thanks for watching. God bless you, and let's hope for better days. This video was brought to you by the color green and the number 45. Be safe. God bless.